Stakeholder communication, stakeholder mapping, and the power interest matrix. In this video we talk and analyze about each one of these concepts. The power interest matrix is a model of mapping stakeholders based on the influence they have over the company. Therefore, an organization needs to know the stakeholder groups it has, and it needs to keep building strong reputation across them and communicate to them accordingly. The power interest matrix is the perfect tool that the communication practitioners can use to identify and analyze all of these stakeholders groups. So let's have a look at it. Before going on with this video, you should know the difference between the shareholders and the stakeholders. I've created a separate and different video for this. You can watch it right here or in the links down in the description to understand this difference. After ordering and categorizing the different stakeholder groups, a company can actually know how intensely and how many resources it needs to invest in keeping the communication with each group particularly. And you want to know this because you want to have different kind of messages. So for example, think about the shareholders or the financial investors. They are one group of stakeholders and you would need to know their interest to be able to communicate the relevant information. So for example, to this group you will only provide like the annual reports, the financial statements, the shareholder minutes, and this is important for them. In the other case, for, I don't know, the customers of a company, which are another group of stakeholders, you would only provide information about the products, the services your company offers, the promotions, the sales, stuff that is interesting for their level of interest in your company. So this is why you should understand this model, because they will provide you with the information about the stakeholder groups of your company, so you need to know what kind of information to give them. Just like the salience model, the power interest matrix works on the same principles. The objective is to categorize stakeholders on the basis of the power they possess and to the extent to which they are likely to have or show interest in the organization's activities. So remember that this model works on two axes. The power and level of interest both can be low or high. Remember that the reason why we use this model is in order to identify and classify the stakeholders groups of a company, because the communication practitioners of a company needs to know how important the stakeholders are to the company, how much influence they have, in order to create conforming campaigns of communications to their interest and to their influence they have over the company. Basically, the company wants to know who are the most important people it needs to communicate with and who are the people that can well look at but not really invest a lot of resources in. And there is one more aspect, that as an organization or as a company, you want to communicate the relevant information to the relevant stakeholders in order to maintain your position in their mind. For example, the people who invested in your company, right? So the shareholders and the financial investors, they want to know about the activities of the company regarding the financial information, how much money the company produces, and this kind of information can be found in the annual reports. To the customers, for example, who are also important stakeholders to the company, they won't want to know the financial statement of the company, they want to know about the goods and services your company offers and about the promotions you have for the products. So this is why it is important to identify different groups of stakeholders to be able to provide them with the relevant information. So going on and looking at the power interest matrix, we see that it works on two axes. It looks at the power and the level of interest a stakeholder has in the company, and we will look now at each quadrant and explain what it means. Quadrant D are considered the key players. They have high level of interest and high power. This means that they need to be communicated constantly with. Quadrant B are the stakeholders who have high interest in the company but lower power, so they need to be kept informed of the organization in order to conserve their commitment to the company. Quadrant C stakeholders have low interest in the company but have high power. They are the most challenging to maintain relationships with because their power can decide particular activities of a company. And finally, Quadrant A have low interest in the company and low power to influence with. Therefore, communication with this group should be done with minimal effort. The communication department of a company needs to be aware that although the power usually stays the same, the level of interest of each group of stakeholders in the company might change, so these entire categories might change and fluctuate. Therefore, this model should be run on an usual basis. In conclusion, both mapping methods of stakeholder groups are important to any company or any organization because they are used to determine the importance of stakeholders groups that a company has in order to know how to create its communication strategy and communications campaigns accordingly to the relevant information that the relevant group of stakeholders needs to know about. Another important aspect why this kind of model should be run in a company is the fact that the communication practitioners will already get a sense of the key messages that they need to transmit to the relevant groups of stakeholders, so they already know that to the investors and shareholders they should communicate only financial information, and they need to know for the rest of the stakeholders groups what kind of key messages they need to transmit and base their communication campaigns on. And one final important aspect is the fact that by running this kind of models, when the company finds itself in a position like a situation of crisis or a situation of decision making for going on, the company can consult the information and the public opinion of the relevant stakeholders, because at the end of the day, the public opinion, and this is what the communication is about, having the public relation with the respective group of stakeholders in order to have the best image you can have, so the stakeholders are kept interested in your company. So basically, by knowing who they need to ask about their opinion, they can make the important decisions when they need as a company. This was everything for this video. I hope you understand now the differences between each model. There are three models: the specific questions, the salience model, and the power interest matrix, and all of them are tools and mapping tools for discovering and identifying the shareholders groups. If you would like to see the other models, find the links down in the description. I will also have a recommendation right here, and keep watching these videos to understand how you communicate with your stakeholders accordingly. If you're an entrepreneur and just created your very first company, maybe you're looking at these videos in order to learn about marketing and corporate communication to create, well, your very first communication campaign and marketing strategy. Maybe you want to create your entire business plan. Well, in this case, I've already helped you. In the links down in the description, you will find a link where you can get a very first business plan and the very first marketing and communication strategy for your company. You will have a manual with all the information that you need to know, and you will have a notebook that when completed, it will turn into your original business plan for your company. So check that out, make sure that you check that out, it's very useful. Thank you for watching the video. Check out the other videos on my channel. Leave a comment in the comment section for the algorithm. You know how YouTube is nowadays. And also, if you want to support my work, you can buy me a coffee. I run on a lot of coffee to do research for these videos, to do editing and filming for these videos. And you can support me by doing that, or you can keep watching the other videos. I'll see you at the next one. Bye.